on Thanksgiving when we finally put on Love Actually after that was so annoying. What?
Just that video, the video singing.
Oh, Mark. I'm quite
Oh yeah. That whole Keira Knightley. Well, I mean, that's that entire love story, or that story, not love story, whatever, side story is so fucking cringe. But whenever you do watch that movie, I'm assuming you watch it like streaming somewhere or like on DVD or something, right?
What, Love Actually?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched that movie like uncensored is the best way to put it. It's only on television for years and years and years. So when we put it on what HBO or whatever it was, and I saw the stand-ins like scene, like their story of like the doing the porn.
Yeah.
It broke my brain because I forgot that there was a storyline in the entire movie, and also just the obscenity of that stuff. I mean, it's supposed to be cute because like they're like actually having like a fun meet cute, getting to know each other in this like very intimate, exposed environment, you know?
Yeah.
But I was like sitting there, I'm like, what kind of like no other type of movie really can you completely remove a storyline from for television on AMC and have the movie still make sense?
Well, yeah, because if you do that, then because he's best friends with someone, right?
He's best friends with Liam Neeson, isn't he?
I don't remember, but then in that scenario, it's like removing their love scene. It's just like a weird bit part.
Yeah.
For what's his name?
Martin.
Yeah, Bilbo.
I forget his last name.
I forget his last name.
Is it Sheen? No.
No.
Short? Martin Short.
What? Was that it?
No.
Wow, Ian Holm got old.
Did you really?
Yeah. Just because he's the first one that.
Yeah. I mean, we're taking a long
Martin
time.
Freeman. Yeah. Yeah, that was so not important to this conversation. But yeah, you just, in the TV version, you're just like, oh, that's kind of a weird bit part to have Martin Freeman in without his whole actual storyline.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's just like it's gone. It's not in anywhere. So like when I saw that and I was like, whoa. God, I hate that movie actually.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not alone.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care about it enough either way.
You said it's like one of your favorite holiday movies a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's a couple years ago. People change.
Let's fucking
What's
do
your
this.
point? What's your fucking point?
God damn it.
I grew. Anyways, this is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Hey, hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Happy New Year, maybe. I don't know, soon-ish. The end of the year.
Yeah.
We're past Christmas now.
Yeah. We picked this for a New Year's movie.
Well, okay. So, all right. Well, I'm just going to get right into it. We're doing this movie called 1982's movie called Diner. Why don't you give the synopsis really quick?
I look into the lives of a group of friends in the days leading up to a buddy's wedding.
Yeah.
And set in the 1960s.
It's set 1959.
So.
It's going into 1960. And when we watched the trailer for it.
Yeah, actually, if you haven't watch the trailer.
Yeah, pause and watch trailer for 1982 Diner. And then
we can put it we'll put it in the promo tag.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah.
We'll put the YouTube link in there so you
but
can check it out.
The way that the trailer makes this movie sound is like the buddies coming back together to make their antics all over again on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it seems really like it's gonna be
like Animal House,
overtly raunchy, and it's more of a dramedy about growing up and coming into your own and changing bad behavior.
Not because what do they don't fucking learn anything at the end of this movie, really.
Rourke,
the one.
Well, he
goes a wild, wild horses.
He's becomes kind of like our main character. He becomes our through line.
But even still, like he gets a fucking scot-free, like other than like you're gonna go work for me at the big construction company now. Like he doesn't fucking learn anything really either as well. Like his growth is like, oh, women are women. Like women shouldn't be treated like objects. Like
yeah, that's my point. It's like he actually learns things.
I don't know how this movie fucking won an Oscar for script. Like Academy Award 1982, it won Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. I'm like, what? Okay, cool.
That makes sense to me.
I have a lot of weird mixed feelings about this movie, and there's a weird when you get that weird like cloudy look like out of the corner of your eye, just like everything's just like blurry.
Yeah, that's happening right now.
Same.
I just choose to ignore it.
It was really bothering me. Generally, I do ignore it. Anywho, so all right, yeah. So this movie came out May 5th, 1982. You can also watch this on HBO Max if you have a subscription to HBO Max. It was in a couple of festivals.
I got March 2nd.
That's the first festival.
Oh.
So it was in a couple of festivals before it was officially released May 5th theatrically.
That's interesting because usually they put all the different places it was.
Like on Wiki?
Yeah. Because I like to look up what the festivals and see what, so every now and then we hear about one you never heard of and you're like, oh, what's that one? Oh.
Yeah, there was like 3. You can see that all on release dates on IMDb as well.
I didn't check there. Okay. Cool.
I mean, so it wasn't really like this also movie or in 82, it wasn't like a huge box office hit. It was like number 54 in the box office. Audience wise, it seemed to be kind of just like a dud.
I think this has, in my opinion, has fallen into the cult.
Yeah, I can see that.
The cult sector.
There is the scene in the movie theater, which apparently this is like, it's the first time that scene had ever been shown in American cinema. That joke, that dick joke. In a box.
Well, yeah, we watched it last night actually because Fallon was wired when I got home, and I was like, I'll put it on. Like I said, I'll put it on again. Yeah. And she actually really enjoyed it. What I was kind of surprised by. I thought I would really.
Things that she likes sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, I was
like that's you're liking that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. But I was like, oh, I wonder if that's where this whole popcorn dick in a box thing started.
I actually looked up the history of that because
she had never heard of that. I was like, really?
How have you never heard of that?
I don't know. I was like, I don't even know how I know about it, but I know about it.
It's my dick in a box. That inspired the entire song.
Yeah, so I just thought it was funny. It's funny to me that she had never heard of that joke.
It's prank.
It's not a joke.
I got a 7-inch sausage on this pizza for you.
Yeah, like it's not a joke.
Really quick, did you count your movies for 82?
9.
I had 13.
I think that's the lowest I've ever gotten.
I could have. There was definitely more. I'm like, oh, I know the storyline of this movie. Like,
yeah, like Tootsie.
Yeah,
I never actually seen Tootsie, but it's like I know it. Mm-hmm. It feels like I watched it, but I couldn't count it. So
yeah. Yeah, well, we'll get into all of that stuff about the dick in a box a little bit later.
Yeah, our writer-director is a man named Barry Levinson.
Barry Levinson, yeah.
Barry Levinson.
He's Academy Award winning, director. Writer.
Yeah, it's funny. I was like, oh, I know some of my favorite movies he wrote, and he wrote and directed a lot of his stuff too.
Yeah. Well, so in his earlier career, he was much more of just a writer.
Yeah, he got to start off as a variety show writer.
Yeah.
So,
which kind of makes sense, like like the vignette-ness of this movie.
Yeah.
But he wrote and directed Rain Man, Sleepers.
Did he write Rain Man?
Oh, maybe he didn't write Rain Man.
I think he just directed it.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then Good Morning Vietnam.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Actually, a handful of movies with Robin Williams.
Yeah, Toys.
Yeah, a Man of the Year.
Yeah, which I don't remember. I remember seeing it. I remember liking that. That's when he's running for president, right?
Something like that. I don't remember it really. I don't ever see it. Well, I've never seen it, so.
And then one of my favorite horror movies, The Bay.
Oh, I didn't know that was one of his.
But yeah, if you want to be scared of drinking water for a while, go ahead and watch it.
We've talked about that before, yeah.
Well, because it was one of the few movies that really fucked with me. I really was like, I couldn't shake it. You couldn't, when a horror movie
shake it off, just shake it off,
kind of follows you around for a while.
It follows.
That's another one. That one did it too. Was scared of people in white.
Oh yes, he also recently he produced the Hulu miniseries Dope Sick, and directed the first 2 episodes.
Oh yeah.
I really want to watch that actually.
And in 2010, received the Laurel Award for Screenwriting Achievement, the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Writers Guild of America.
Yeah, so I mean, he's an American film director, dude. That
he's a guy.
Now here's a guy. I guess we can go into. It was written and directed by him, produced.
Yeah.
Again, it's starring.
Just want to do it in order.
I kind of did a specific order.
Okay.
Like I started with Steve Guttenberg.
Okay.
Which makes sense. Also,
God, what an unlikable schmuck,
dude. Eddie was. Dude, I mean, a lot of these characters are. I know, but he was unlikable.
He took the cake though.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, and that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be unlikable schmuck
because he's it's a defense that he's putting up.
Yeah.
Because he's super insecure.
Yeah.
Like extremely insecure. But also Steve Guttenberg, like he's super young in this.
They're all
yeah, especially Kevin Bacon. Oh my God. But like Steve Guttenberg, like there's moments where the way that he's acting in this, like the way that he like curls his lip and just like there was literally a moment I was like, oh my God, him and Shia LaBeouf look super fucking similar.
Oh, I could see that. Never thought about that.
I was like, God damn.
Yeah, especially in
like
this,
younger.
Yeah, like if they were gonna do a remake of The Cocoon, get Shia LaBeouf.
Oh fuck yeah.
But yeah, Steven, really known for like what, Police Academy, Cocoon,
Short Circuit,
3 Men and a Baby series. What, there are 2 of those, 3 of those?
There's 2 of them.
2 of those.
Because it's 3 Men and a Baby and 3 Men and a Little Girl as a sequel. When she's a toddler.
Weird.
Didn't really need to make a sequel to that. Also, that movie, just bonkers.
What is the premise of 3 Men and a Baby?
3 roommate men, just a baby's like dropped off. They don't know if one of them is the father.
Isn't one of them Tom Selleck?
Yeah, and also what's his name from Cheers?
I don't know. I don't know Cheers.
Ted Danson.
Oh, Ted Danson.
It's Steve Guttenberg, Tom Selleck, and Ted Danson.
Weird. What a weird. It's kind of like that's kind of why we did this movie too. Is that we were like, that's the cast. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Steven plays
Steve
plays
Guttenberg. And then I have Mickey Rourke in that because I feel like he's kind of like the next main character more.
God, he was such a good-looking guy.
Also, what happened to his voice?
I don't know. It was amazing in this movie.
Yeah, he's very soft.
Well, because he's got this really
like velvet.
Yeah, he's got this really kind of masculine kind of look. He's like a guy.
Yeah,
he's kind of got this real like, listen, calm down.
Listen, my dick just popped up in that.
Yeah,
place.
I mean, baby. He's got this. It's so weird.
Hearing his logic and her just go like, it just popped in there. I'm just like, what?
See, that's the thing though. Too. It's like, yeah, he's a total creeping dick, but she's also a fucking idiot.
This movie doesn't write women in general in a very positive light.
Well, no, but the thing is, we also don't have a lot of women in it.
There's no, I mean, Ellen Barkin, we'll get to her in a minute, is really the only female perspective, and even that's really short-sighted and built through the narrative of the male lens.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's a movie about a group of guy friends.
Well, yeah, I know, and it's like, it's also written in 1982, but
based in the 1960s. It's like this didn't have really a chance coming out of the gate.
Yeah, but even still, a little bit of that, it really kind of did rub me the wrong way, and I'm sitting there as I was watching, it was like, if anybody ever says film and cinema, doesn't give a good fighting chance for women, go back and fucking watch this movie. If this won an Academy Award with what it did, we've leaps and bounds.
No, just okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know. You just seem so disinterested in everything I was
No,
just saying right there.
I agree with the winning an award thing because that's just we kind of talked about loosely. It's just the natural dialogue of these. When they're talking and just being dudes with each other, just the most basic kind of like that. That sandwich.
Also, really quick, should that win Best Original Screenplay? Because Barry Levinson just let them improv all of that.
That's a good point. But like that whole sandwich scene.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious. But it's not like overtly funny, but it's really funny because you're like, I've been here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've done this with my stupid guy friends arguing about the most mundane, stupid bullshit.
Yeah.
Except for a fucking roast beef sandwich.
Let's get back to the starring one. So Mickey Rourke, The Wrestler, Iron Man 2.
Yeah, a lot of stuff in his older.
I can only think of his older stuff off the top of my head.
Sin City.
Oh, yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
I've still never seen that, so
it's so weird to me. I don't know. It just really seems like your cup of tea.
It's just one of those things.
You just missed it. Yeah. Did you miss that entire franchise, or just? Oh, okay, yeah. So you just missed that franchise.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Then I got Daniel Stern next.
Home Alone.
Yeah.
Oh, we talked about actually, which I forgot about.
Yeah.
Episode 93, Very Bad Things. Also a pretty horrendous movie.
Yeah. Daniel
about
Stern.
Toxic Men.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, even more so.
Yeah, actually, what's worse? Yeah, Very Bad Things is definitely there.
Yeah, but Very Bad Things is leaning into a dark comedy aspect of it, and this is leaning into a more natural sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's like a give and take.
They kill a hooker.
Yeah.
Then I have a goose. And then they have a freak out at a diner. Weird.
Daniel Stern likes to do some weird ass movies. It seems like. He's also Home Alone. He's the voice of Wonder Years. He's the narrator.
Yeah. City Slickers.
Yeah,
which is really funny.
Also, he's a weird ass character. He's a good character actor, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he has. That should go on the list of one of the top film freakouts when he has a fight with his wife.
Yeah.
City Slickers.
I think you've said this before. I think
it's his night to play poker with the other Nazis. I hate you.
Yeah. You know, you probably improv all that too.
Yeah. It's one of those. Sometimes there's a line that you're like, you can't really write that.
I mean, you can.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like it just comes off off the top of your head. You know.
Yeah. I got Kevin Bacon next.
Yeah. Who
Fenwick.
I kind of identified with a little too much, and I didn't care for it.
Well, I mean, especially in your younger years.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
But also, like, he doesn't really have. Yeah, we'll get into it. Kevin Bacon is Kevin fucking Bacon. You know, there's a game called 7 Degrees of Bacon.
And he was. I don't know if we mentioned him, but he was in episode 112, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
That's right, for a brief second.
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about him or not, though.
We did a little bit, yeah. Yeah, because you were like, what the fuck is he doing in this movie?
Yeah, because he was like, again, it was a baby in it. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, yeah.
This is like one of his first movies, though.
Yeah. God, yeah. It's really funny. Hollow Man, another very toxic character. That's a great movie.
I got Tim Daly next, who plays Billy. I didn't really recognize him from anything, actually.
Except he's the Kevin Conroy of Superman.
Well, yeah.
Which I didn't know that. But yeah, I was like, oh. Like, he's Superman.
Yeah.
Like, you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. If the people that don't get that, Kevin Conroy was the voice of Batman.
Forever.
And he...
For everything.
And he is... like
the most counterpart for Superman. Yeah,
he's like Superman, The Adventures of Superman.
Yeah, he's the animated show, and then he did a bunch of the movies.
Yeah.
Was he in? I didn't actually notice if he was the voice for Injustice.
Probably was, because he was the voice for Doom as well.
Yeah. Was Kevin Conroy Batman in that?
Doom?
No, in
Injustice. I'm pretty sure he was.
It's kind of like if it's not him, it's weird. You know?
Exactly.
You're kind of expecting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I got Ellen Barkin next.
Yeah, I didn't. The only two that I really recognized was This Boy's Life and Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Oh, for her.
Yeah.
She's the cougar in Ocean's 13 that Matt Damon is trying to seduce.
Okay. She looks great.
Yeah.
She looks very different.
She kind of like the way that she aged very beautifully.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Even when she was young, she was a very interesting looking woman. Mm-hmm. She's very different. She was very pretty, but she was very interesting looking. And then she just like aged.
And what's really is like I feel like her acting in this was really the acting in this movie was just hands down actually really really well. But I feel like because she's not traditionally like, you know, she doesn't have like that movie star like hotness to her. It seems like she's very cute when she was younger, and I think that probably, you know, put her into a weird casting pool, especially in the 80s. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, she looks like no, not Renee Zellweger. Yeah. A little bit, yeah, but no. Who's the Chasing Amy, the love interest in Big Daddy?
Oh, with the little voice.
Yeah, I was trying to really like pinpoint who she looked like to me.
Joey Lauren Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's... Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of dead space of us looking at stuff on this episode.
That wasn't even that long.
Silence lasts forever on a
podcast.
Silence
is deadly. Yeah, Joey Lauren Adams. Man.
You see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh. Well, the way that you kind of like...
Well, because I just saw a picture of Alan Covert.
Oh.
And Steve Buscemi. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. It's scaring me. Okay.
Okay. And finally, I have Paul Reiser, just because he's kind of like the last ensemble. He's like,
he's a weird. I don't know. Like, didn't really like seem that important, and then kind of seemed more important at the end, and then
he's definitely like he's like part of the crew, but like not really part of the script.
Yeah. Which is funny. He's in Whiplash, which we were talking about the other.
I don't know that he was in Whiplash.
And isn't he the dick in Aliens?
Yes, and probably most recently, people would recognize him for like Stranger Things.
Oh, he's the doctor or something, right? Yeah.
I mostly recognize him from the late 80s, early 90s sitcom Mad About You, starring him and Helen Hunt. Went on for like 9 years.
Was that everybody?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else.
I mean, everyone else, like, kind of like a small, whatever, like, there was no one else I thought was recognizable.
Review time?
Yeah, let's do it. Do Tommy's Corner.
Do you have the numbers?
Yeah, so IMDb's got this on a 7.1 rating. And then on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 92% tomato meter, which I think that's probably just based off of, like, whatever reviews that came out when it came out. I feel like this movie would kind of get panned in another way nowadays just because of its male-centricness.
Well, yeah.
And then a 77% audience score. So, again, like, this movie, like, audiences were kind of like, okay, sure, on it. But it was, like, critics really... Also, reading something on Wikipedia, it feels like it was kind of twisted to be forced into a positive critique by critics. Like...
Well, no, there's this... I was reading... What was it? The test screenings reactions of the film were poor, prompting uncertainty from MGM over whether to release the film. Attempting to get positive publicity for the film, executive producer Mark Johnson obtained a print without MGM's knowledge and screened it privately for Pauline Kael, whom his mother knew personally, as well as a fellow critic, James Wolcott. Kael called MGM executives and made it clear she was going to write a rave review even if MGM did not release the film, and other critics planned to do the same.
Yeah.
So they did kind of strong arm it into getting production released. Yeah.
So that's kind of like interesting for that in general.
Well,
and that's a quote from Wikipedia.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Well, this has an 82 Metascore, which is universal acclaim, with 13 positive reviews and 2 mixed.
Interesting.
So, yeah. Where is 90 out of 100, the New York Times, by Janet Maslin. Diner isn't lavish or long, but it's a sort of small, honest, entertaining movie that should never go out of style, even in the age of sequels and extravaganzas.
Okay. Well, wait, are these all like from its release?
Sometimes they put a date on it, but these are so old that the links aren't a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is 1982. So these are paper. These are paper somewhere.
Someone was
archived.
Someone was typing up the newspaper.
Yeah. I just picked since there's so many positive everything. I just kind of picked a couple that Dave Keir with 90 out of 100. And this one I think I picked this one because that's kind of what I liked about the movie. Levinson's dialogue feels fresh and improvised, yet it hits the mark every time. And the performances he gets are complex and original, particularly from Mickey Rourke, who plays a Lothario. I should look up at that. I wish we had a thing to.
That sounds like a Shakespeare character. Spell it.
Lothario. Lothario, thank you. I'm stupid. Lothario, kids, means a man who behaves selfishly and irresponsibly in his sexual relationships with women. Oh, interesting. With a late blooming conscience. Even so, that Levinson's occasional forced cinematic effects cause barely a ripple in the smooth, naturalistic surface. And like I said, that's what I really just liked about the movie was the natural feeling of the dialogue. It felt like you were watching
a bunch of dudes just hanging out.
A bunch of friends. And it's just like the naturalness was just cool. It's cool to see that get captured.
Yeah.
So well, which I just thought was really interesting.
And that is definitely the thing that really makes this movie like pop.
Makes it watchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like it is super slow, and like when I first started watching it, I fell asleep about an hour and a half into it because I was just kind of I was tired and
yeah,
we've been working a lot, but like it's like there is an honesty built in with the dialogue, but I'm pretty sure I read it in the
you did.
I read that properly.
Yeah. That there was a lot of improv to make it natural.
So. It's like, sure, Barry Levinson just like let them just kind of like. Also, if the end credits while it's rolling, it's them just fucking having.
Yeah, which I didn't notice the first time I watched it.
Yeah,
but they're almost having like conspiracy theories. Like, no, I'm telling you, like that's what it means. They're just like it's pretty.
Well, it's like Paul Reiser's like trying to tell a joke the entire time.
Yeah,
and they're all just talking over him, and he's like, "You're taking too long to tell the joke." He's like, well, if you guys would listen, then you would know that I'm like they would get to the punchline, but you guys aren't paying attention. And he's.
For the mix, sorry, this one's a little wordy, but 50 out of 100, the Washington Post, there is no name for whoever wrote this, but this is not really riveting material if you don't go to high school with these boys, and perhaps not even if you did. Played by Steve Guttenberg, Daniel Stern, Mickey Rourke, Kevin Bacon, and Timothy Daly, they seem fundamentally decent, but hopelessly trapped in the limits of the time and place. That grumpy atmosphere, looked upon as endearing, is the only thing the film has to offer, and while it's amusing at first, one quickly gets the idea.
That is spot on. That's how I feel. 100%.
It's just really, especially with this is just one of those situations which hasn't really happened before, but you and I are just both in different camps for it.
Yeah. Well, because by the end of this movie, I felt like I was sitting there, I'm like, well, like, I'd say I feel like more should be happening with them as characters, or more should be getting accomplished by the end of it. It's just like for a movie,
yeah, but that's not life.
No, exactly. But like that. I think that's why it's like when I go in to watch a movie, I expect there to be more of something, not just like a snippet of like what I could see at a fucking Denny's at 2:00 in the morning. And that's what Barry Levinson is trying to do in this, Like
it just wasn't for you.
And he's successful with that. But it doesn't make for exciting or palpable television for me, or like, you know.
I guess I could see that, because at the end of the day, that nothing really, you know, like Eddie really needs to get some kind of comeuppance for his behavior, and nothing happens.
Also,
to him.
like the arcs, all the characters' arcs are just so minimal or non-existent.
You know, and then you have Fenwick too, who's rich kid who's very intelligent, that's having some kind of existential drunk crisis.
The way the way that this movie is built is that I feel like it sets up for something more for each character to happen.
And it never happens.
Like Fenwick, I was sitting there, you know, he's destructive. Like, dude, he's probably going to die by the end of this movie or commit suicide or something.
Yeah, like a real Holden Caulfield kind of thing.
Yeah, and I was going to be like, it's going to be a huge tragedy for these people, and we're going to fucking see them deal with that. And no, he's just... He loses his mind because someone steals the baby Jesus out of the manger.
That's a funny scene. You know when he grabs the goat, he's bawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really didn't like how much he registered with me. I was just sitting there cringing, like, oh god.
You kind of were that guy.
Prick. Yeah, I know.
It's okay. You're not that anymore.
Oh god, anyone that knew me, I'm sorry. Crying.
So yeah, we have Eddie also, his future wife has to take a football test in order for him to marry her.
Well, and I thought it was interesting. You never once see her.
No.
You know, I thought that was an interesting choice.
Yeah, it was very strange. You'd hear her voice for a hot second.
Yeah.
But also like I think
that's to show how little he's actually, because even then the entire movie he's like convincing himself to get married, basically.
None of these men view women as people. None of them do. Mickey Rourke by the end of it kind of does.
You don't think Sheevy does? I think he does. It's just that his relationship has just gotten like in a rut and stagnant.
The way that he treats her through this entire movie is like I'm like, why are you even married?
That's what I think.
He doesn't know. He talks about. He's like, yeah, you know, when you first start dating and it's like, oh, the sneaking around for sex and whatnot, blah blah blah. But now that I'm married, it's like, well, there is all that sneaking around and stuff, and I can't have a conversation with her. What the fuck do I talk to her about? It's like, you didn't have a conversation with her before you married her?
No, but I think that's the married rut thing. They've been married now, and they're, you know, because that's what she talks about too, is that she doesn't feel attractive anymore.
Well, and there's also, I mean, that's also a big thing, is like, there is a weird commentary for it to be 1959, and the idea of marriage is like, you just meet a woman, she's cute, get married to her. The whole like idea of just like dating and relationships is just, it's so fake.
Well, I don't think that it's even, I don't know if fake is right. I think at this time it was a very like it. Does this make sense? It was a very streamlined process.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean? It was just, this is what you do.
You'll marry the girl that you think is cute, and then you will learn to love them.
You'll meet them when you're a teenager, and then you'll stay together forever, harboring resentment.
Yeah.
And then taking it out on your children.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, you know, that's, I think it's more of this very forced streamlined process where this is what you do.
Because like the way that he freaks out on her about his records, his
point was fine. It was his execution that wasn't.
Yeah,
being like, these are important to me. I want you to treat them how I want them to be treated. They're important to me. But like the way he does it, it's like, bro.
Yeah.
Because
he was like a toddler having a tantrum.
The only thing that brought it around in that entire interaction was when he brought up the first time meeting her at the dance and what song was playing. Yeah. And then that's the moment where you're like, oh no, this is something that is
it's like, it's very, very important to him.
But he's being a total prick about it.
Yeah. He's not, he's never once expressed the importance of all of this to her. And she's like, it's just music. Like, why does it matter?
Yeah, that's true. It's like for being married, you probably should have known this about your husband.
Well,
or you should have probably told your wife about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Like, so like I don't think, like, where is his arc? At the very end, when he's like, finally, he's like, oh, hey, do you want to go off to blah, 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 blah for 10 days? And she's like, 10 days? That sounds nice. Cool. Problem solved, I guess. Like, cool.
This is 1960. No one's problems are solved.
No, that's very true, too.
It's just swept under. You don't talk about
No,
it.
and then,
Sweep
like,
it under the rug.
So, and then Mickey Rourke, and I feel like Mickey Rourke's arc, when he's getting ready to take one of his best friend's wife.
Yeah, what a
and
fucking...
up in a wig and have sex with her in front of him
to win a bet.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a monster.
And then in the stairwell of your apartment, like, no, I can't go through with this. Why was it even an option?
Well, no, but
he was literally taking advantage of her vulnerable state.
Oh, 1,000%.
You know?
But I mean, also, like, I thought it was just kind of like in a morbid, really creepy way, but I thought it was fucking hilarious that he was just anything he could bet on, he was betting on.
Oh, yeah. Well, dude, every single one of these characters has a huge giant flaw to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Alcoholism, gambling, anger,
misogyny.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing is, I was just curious. Mickey Rourke owed $2,000 for betting on a game that he thought they were going to shave points.
Yeah.
Do you know what the equivalent is now?
No.
I looked it up. So $2,000.
It's got to be like what, like
$16,000.
Oh, that's it. Oh, I thought
$16,000 in 1960.
No, wait, what?
So he bet 2,000. So the equivalent with inflation, that would be 16,000 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was going to be like 100,000 or something.
Well, no, but still owing 16,000 on a fucking basketball game.
Yeah.
At that time, and they got to be in their mid-20s. He's he works at a hair salon.
Yeah.
That's a.
Yeah, it's
you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't make that.
Yeah,
like,
$16,000 now. Yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying, it just because when you hear $2,000, you're like, okay, that sucks, but you could figure that out. Ask a couple of friends. You know.
Today, I guess like the thing is, the disconnect we're having right here is when I hear $2,000 and I know it's 1960, I'm like, oh, he's fucked. I already know that.
I just didn't know what the actual equivalent was, and I looked it up because at first I was just like, oh, $2,000, like you can get that together, you can scrounge around.
Not
but it was when they started talking about the other bets that were smaller, and they're like, yeah, I'll put 50. They were doing such minor amounts.
Even when they're saying like $50 at that time, that's like betting like 200.
Well, yeah, no, but I was like, man, they're if he owes $2,000, but everything they're betting on is 15, 20, 25 bucks. I was like, oh wait, I didn't think about inflation. And I looked it up, and I was like, oh. Yeah. $2,000 to $16,000 is a very big difference.
It's a very big difference. And I guess that's what I'm saying is like when I automatically think of that.
And then it made sense why the guy beat him up.
Also, again, Mickey Rourke's character, his uncle or whatever like pays his bill. And so he's scot-free from the fucking bookie. And then he has the fucking gall to punch the bookie or whatever. And it's like, this dude... He'll still fucking kill you, dude.
Yeah, just because you don't owe him money doesn't mean he's not a criminal.
Yeah. Like, what? Okay. You think you're
whatever.
a big tough guy now? Jesus. And then...
I liked that moment.
Sorry.
You don't have to. I don't care.
Then also, and then, like,
I don't care
and then also, when he's like... so he goes and he's like, you're going to... You know what? Let's take it. We'll call it an advance, and you'll work for me, do some construction and whatnot. He's killing people.
Yeah, the diner's all up front.
Dude, there's definitely some like, yeah. But like, it's, yeah, no, he's just, he gets away with everything pretty much. It's like, where's this lesson to be learned? Like, oh, well, I guess I'm never going to gamble again. And then he fucking rides off in the fucking sunset on a goddamn horse with Horsewoman, who we met early on in the movie and he had just like 30-second interaction with. Because you know what? He needs to have a wild woman. He can't be subdued by some common girl in Baltimore. Death. God, yeah. I do like the phrase like she's dead. And also when he's explaining to the girl and he's like, it was Ripley's, like it just popped in there. Like I like that.
I liked the slang.
Yeah.
Like even when Fenn is breaking the windows and he's like, hey man, what are you doing? And he's like, well, it's just smiles.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, it's just a joke. Oh, it's just smiles. Mm-hmm. Then he's about to do it again. He's like, I'm not smiling.
Let's see. We already talked about Eddie's Like,
yeah, it's interesting. Fenn probably like it would have been good too because there's that whole scene in the beginning which is sick. The whole car accident scene, which I was like, oh, like I thought
I was like, dude,
wow.
I was like, yeah, what did I think? Fenwick's gonna die. I fucking called it, and then like, nope, it's all a fucking joke.
But that would have been a good way, like, start with that, end with that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Because even then, when that whole scene was coming up, I had this feeling. I was like, oh, him speeding, he's reckless, he's drunk, I thought what was going to happen was that he was going to be okay, but the girl...
Or something like that,
the girl was going to die.
Like, he's going to be held accountable for... Yeah.
And that was going to be his whole drama, you know? But it's like, they should have ended it the way they started it with a lot of these characters.
100%.
That would have made it... But the thing is, though, I just think that might have also... Yes, that would have made it more of a complete feeling story arc for a movie, but it would have gotten rid of that moment in time thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I liked about it.
And that's fair. I mean, that's how it ends with like the idea of a snapshot of them on the marriage for New Year's Eve.
Yeah, you know.
Also, all of this movie takes place between Christmas Day and New Year's Eve, pretty much. So like 7 days.
Yeah, it's a quick. That's the snap. It's a week in the lives of these guys.
And then we got Billy, who's just come back into town.
Psycho.
Is he?
Kind of. I don't know.
He seemed like the most like level-headed one out of all of them.
No, but I think because I think he,
also,
outwardly
the weird, like it's weirdly homosexual tension between Eddie and Billy. I felt like that was like I thought that was going to be another storyline. It's like the way that
they're closeted
how close they it's like they have been secretly hooking up, and that's Eddie's whole thing is that he doesn't want to like embrace it, and Billy is like trying to get Eddie to like maybe we can figure something out. Like that would have made something even more interesting as well. Like there was like these so many little like hints of like something more is going to happen, and it's not that at all. You know. Like, it would have made Eddie's, like, insecurity about marrying Beverly, or whatever fuck her name was. Was that right? Bev?
I don't know.
Sure. And then also, like, when he, like, admits, like, oh, he's a virgin. And he's like, well, kind of. And he's like, no, he's a virgin. That's why he's afraid to marry her. Like, it's just, yeah, there was so many, like, missed opportunities, I feel, in this movie. And because, like, Billy's whole thing is, like, he actually like he's friends with a woman, like actually friends with her.
Yeah.
But then they had sex and he knocked her up. And
she has that great line too. It's like you're mistaking a friendship with a woman and love.
Yeah. Which is interesting as
hurt.
Yeah, very yeah. Which is also kind of interesting because I feel like the whole like the idea of like, being with a woman or being with a partner in general.
You want to be friends with them.
You want to be friends with them.
Not in 1960. We talked about that. You need to hate each other and then take it out on your children.
Apparently, everything is just an object, whether you're human or, So...
Well, no, I was thinking that Billy is a psycho because when they get arrested, when that guy's like fucking with them in the prison cell, he says, "Oh, I'll hit you so hard it'll kill your entire family," or something like that. And you're like, that was crazy. Like, that didn't make sense.
I loved that.
No, it was great. It was great. But you're just like, that was the kind of crazy that doesn't make sense. You're like, no,
exactly. But like, he's saying that, like,
no, and that's what I meant. His look. Yeah. You're like, he's not fucking around.
He's got enough. He's like, you leave me the fuck alone.
That's what I mean. He was
a
little.
I will. Yeah, I will
a little off his rocker.
End you.
Yeah, that was cool.
I will end a lineage.
Your whole family.
But he's like even like how he's like, well, and then with the whole like the older the stripper woman at the very end when they're like talking with her at the burger shop, and he's like, what is it? He says something about like how he's trying to tell her that he loves her, and she's like, no, what told her? Why didn't you show her?
Yeah,
and then his arc is done.
That was something that rung with me though, actually.
Told her
did you show her?
Yeah, why didn't you show her?
Yeah.
You're
like, oh, yeah. I was like thinking back.
Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, and I was thinking back of my past, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's probably a better route to go.
Did you just connect with all of the guys in this movie?
No, I connected with the dialogue a lot.
I'm joking.
No, but I'm like, actually, yeah, I connected with like that. There was just some really great little lines, and I was like, oh, there's actually That very simple line had a lot of truth to it.
What's funny is I hear that and I'm like, well, that's a really antiquated trope of a line. Like, told her, why haven't you shown her?
But coming from the haggard stripper that sees the young man being a fool, I don't know.
The old wise woman, the mystic woman type thing. Yeah, no, it's a fucking trope from the 19...
I like how we went from older stripper to the old wise woman in the village.
Yeah, because that's the whole idea. It's like she's seen a lot of stuff in her life because she's had to gone through a lot to end up as a stripper, you know? It's also another fucking trope. Sorry. Like this, I mean, it's, I guess for 1982, because like the whole dick in a box thing was like, that originated joke from a 1980 French movie. But it translates to the party, so like La Baume or whatever. But I guess thinking about like when this movie came out in 1982, there was obviously it was just a different time, and so a different like lens to be interpreting this film. What?
No, I was just looking at what you were talking about.
The La Baume?
The party.
Yeah.
This is the story about a teenage girl's first love experiences.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
It's also French, so.
Yeah, so you hate it.
Actually, I really like French film. I just hate the language.
That's super conflicting. It's like, yeah, I love the movies. I just hate it when they're talking.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. They're
so weird.
goddamn windy ass fucking words.
It's so weird. It's like, man, I hear the word taboo and I just get really angry about it. It's goddamn table. Fuck you and your ho tabel.
Get your fucking say a goddamn consonant, please.
So weird. Never met someone. Like someone is like a liberal and you're just like, fuck the French. It's just such a weird hatred. I just can't grasp.
Oh, yeah, can we get back to Diner?
Give me a second.
So this came out in 1982.
Yeah.
So it's very specific lens.
Yes.
Like, so obviously, like a lot of my qualms that I am kind of complaining about is now from like 50 years later, but 40 years later.
But you also have to also keep in mind too, it's a 1982 film that is taking place in the 1960s.
Yes. No, it's 1959.
Just round up.
No, because the 60s is a different generation than the 50s.
There's still that overlap that it's not New Year's and they all turned a leaf and they're all nice guys now. It's still them.
Yeah. I'm not.
You're splitting hairs. Anyway, so 1959.
Okay, so 1940 to 1970 is the same fucking generation.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a movie that it literally ends on New Year's, so it's 1960s.
It's the 1950s. It ends in the last scene is 1960. It's not the 60s. The movie takes place in the 50s.
Okay, whatever. Anyways. But yes, it's the 80s lens of a different time period.
Yeah, which also, that's right. I had a fleeting thought while I was sitting there, like, why was Dazed and Confused so much more compelling of a movie? Something filmed in the 90s that takes place in the 70s. And then this being in the 80s, taking place like 1959, the turn of the decade. And like there's and they both kind of have like similar ideas of like this like snapshot of like a day, you know, of
like vignette thing
of teenagers, you know, Matthew McConaughey being a total perv. But it's like, and I guess like I think it's probably just like the nature of the content is that Dazed and Confused seems more like a party that's going on, and this seems like
no. And I think Dazed and Confused, more of it comes to actual closure.
Yeah, it's like the way that this movie ends is the New Year's Eve. Is it New Year's Eve or New Year's Day that they're getting married? It's New Year's Eve.
I thought it was New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it's New Year's Eve.
Could be wrong,
yeah, New Year's Eve they're getting married, and it ends literally like on like this like all of the guys, they're laughing while Paul Reiser's like doing his weird like little bit on stage, making a joke about Eddie getting married and whatnot. And it's literally like it ends on like a freeze frame of them just all like laughing.
Yeah, like a snapshot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like literally just like, and these were the guys. It's like, it almost could have been like Fenwick a couple days later actually died in a car accident. Like the dialogue, like a little like sentence of like where each character ended up.
That would have been kind of cool, actually. Fenwick died later that night in a car accident. He did not have a ketchup bottle.
I guess, yeah. You do kind of have like, you really like hit it on the head with like this, what this movie is meant to be is supposed to be just like a quick snapshot of people's life, of some just bunch of people like would hang out at Denny's and whatnot, you know?
Yeah. And
Barry Levinson does a really good job of capturing that and just bringing it to life, you know?
Well, yeah. And it's just like, you know, and it's not gatekeeping or anything like that, but it's just, I think this movie is just for certain people because, like you were saying, it really doesn't paint women in. I don't want to say positive light. It doesn't really paint them in any kind of light.
No,
because they're just really, which is like really weird.
I mean, it's like your two women characters that you have in this movie. You have Ellen Barkin, who feels like she doesn't have an identity. She doesn't know who she is with her husband anymore.
Yeah,
and then you have the woman who's got pregnant with Billy.
Oh, I thought you meant Elise, Eddie's fiance.
Oh,
so I guess we have three.
Yeah, but she's also just non-existent.
You don't see her. You see her once at the very end.
Yeah. But then you have the girl that Billy has impregnated, and she's a successful woman. She works at the TV station. She has a job. She enjoys her job, and she even she's like he's trying to talk to her, maybe go on a date, and she's like, after I'm done with this, I still have a lot more to do here. So call me in the morning. Yeah. And, church services are at 10. Like gives him time frame, And so you have her is one of the most positive representations of a woman in this. But even still, her narrative is based solely through Billy's wanting to be with her and raise whatever kid that it is,
Yeah. But I get, it's like what I was getting at too. It's because it's just a lot with these period movies. You have to realize that this is what was happening. Yeah. It was like we were saying, the streamlined marriage. You know, everyone met in high school and then, and even then with 1959, you're kind of talking about a really weird point in American culture, in a giant shift that's coming up. Yeah. A real big cultural shift is right around the corner. And social rights and a lot. It's like, guys, a lot's going to happen in the next couple of years, buckle up. So it's just and that's the thing that as I buckle up. That's the thing I really liked about it. It's just I like looking into these, even if it's not great in the sense of what was happening socially and everything. I like being a history person too. I like looking in these little windows. It's honest. Yeah, it's honest. It's honest of what it was, And there's some really not great stuff in this, but when it comes to the dialogue written about the not great stuff was great written. It was greatly performed dialogue, I guess. Yeah. I just thought it was and I just to never seeing it, never hearing about it until we decided to do it. I was just really pleasantly surprised at what it was. Is this something I'm going to watch over and over again? Yeah. No. But I was watching it. I watched it twice just because I was it's so dialogue heavy. It's
very character driven.
Yeah. So I was I want to watch it twice to just see if I catch something that I might have missed.
At first I thought it was based off a play possibly, and then I found out that this movie, it was turned into a musical play later. I was oh, okay. I
lost my train. But yeah.
Well, I think we can probably give it a rating and wrap it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah, am I gonna go back and rewatch this a bunch? No, but I thought it was an interesting like fresh thing to like go into and be like, oh, well, that it had me thinking afterwards. You know, I was thinking about it, and I was just like, okay. So,
and we had two completely different experiences.
Yeah,
it's fine. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah,
when that happens. So now I'm curious now, actually, what your rating is versus mine.
I mean, I'm also kind of going with the critics. I'd give it a 3. I think it's good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's great, especially because in this day and age with a lot of the content and everything, but it's like it kind of did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, and you aren't wrong with that. You know, like, and
I know, and I get your whole it never coming to like an end kind of thing, closure for anybody. But again, that's kind of what the point is. It's like this is supposed to be a snapshot of life.
Yeah, and it's because of that. It's like I want to give it like a 2.
Yeah,
you know.
So 2.5.
Yeah, we can vary in the middle.
Okay. Because it's like yeah, that's just I'm gonna start doing that roundabout thing. But yeah, it's just like to me that was it did what it was trying to do very well, and that was just supposed to be a quick little look at these assholes.
Dennis Leary comes out and he is an asshole. Leo, Leo, Leo.
So yeah, just me in the middle.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's not something I would recommend. I would have to kind of know you.
If you're a film buff, yeah, cinephile type thing, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. This is something like if you're a cinephile and a film buff, this is something just to check off.
Yeah,
because it is also cool like seeing them so young. Yeah, kind of at a lot of them at the very beginning of like their careers, really.
Yeah, very much so.
And just seeing, especially with Mickey Rourke, he's a completely different person to the wrestler.
Yeah,
he's skinny and he's like, "Hey, how you doing? What's going on?"
Just whatever heartthrob he was.
Yeah, great hair.
Great.
Oh my God, his hair in this movie, I was like, good for you, dude. God, yeah. Just this voluptuous flop. Oh yeah. So sorry, y'all. Next week we're doing banter.
Yeah, we're gonna
like a new year
recap 2023 or something.
Yeah, so our end of the year is our big.
I mean, this one is the end of the year.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying this isn't the end of the season like we do. I'm just saying that we're gonna talk about nothing and everything that we kind of maybe didn't discuss like ingesting media wise.
We're probably just gonna talk a lot about video games, honestly.
We'll try and variety it up. Yeah, I guess that's it. So we gave Diner 2.5 out of 5 carrots. We're gonna just kind of chit chat next week because we also next week we're gonna figure out what's coming up, right?
We kind of already figured it out.
Did we?
Unless we want to change it.
Is it on the calendar?
Yeah.
Oh,
we have all of January.
Really? That's nice. I forgot about that. I don't recall doing that. Cool. All right. So follow us on Instagram. We have all of our posts on there. We'll put that YouTube link for the trailer for this, just so you like what we thought we were watching. It was offensive in a different way than we expected.
Yeah, I was expecting Animal House, Porky's, something like that.
That's what it felt
like.
And
I guess it kind of is. But
it isn't though.
In a more if it was
quieter,
if grounded in reality.
Yeah, it's like a quieter. It's not as big as those.
Which is actually strange. Actually, this year Porky's came out and The Last American Virgin. So it's okay.
Porky's was like number 3.
Yeah.
So there you go. Different time. Porky's was number 3 on the box office list in 1982.
You want to talk about a bonkers fucking movie, man.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Sure, younger people are like, what the fuck is Porky's? Oh, go have fun. Go watch Porky's.
Yeah, watch Porky's.
Watch Porky's. Make your face melt like the
and then go watch Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah. God, the shit that we got away with. All right. So yeah, follow us on Instagram for all of our posts. You can see what's coming up. We are pretty much everywhere you can find your podcast, Spotify, Apple, all that kind of stuff. Go ahead and leave a review or send a message of Anything that you think might be interesting to talk about? And I don't know. I'm
just watching you fucking
I'm flailing.
flail right now.
This is Tommy.
Say it with guys. It's like, I'm like, hey, leave a comment, do this thing. You're just like, if you really want to. I mean, I don't really want to.
My name is Bug. I'm a hairstylist. But I go to lawyer school at night. Yeah.
I'll sleep with your wife in front of you.
I'll sleep with your wife in front of you.
Fuck. All right, let's do it.
It's got a Steve Seagal vibe, you know what I mean?
Skip.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.